Five, four, three, two, one. This is Deducter bringing you set 2 of Woongjin vs KT Rolster. We have 0 versus Action. Action is the teal Zerg in the 12 o'clock position, and 0 is the blue Zerg in the 8 o'clock position. Oh, apparently they changed colors for some reason. Well, anyway, 0 is at the 8 o'clock in red now, and Action is yellow at 12 o'clock. So this is Zerg vs Zerg matchup on Aztec. 0 is a very entertaining player to watch. He's very creative, but he's not particularly consistent. In Zerg vs Zerg, he is 50%. Action is sort of an up-and-coming Zerg. He was doing quite well a few months ago, or more like a year ago. But lately, he hasn't really done much. He has a 49% win rate in ZVZ, so they're roughly evenly matched, statistically speaking. It seems like 0 is one of my favorite players because he is incredibly creative. And there have been some epic Zerg vs Zerg involving 0 and Tech and Queens, all sorts of crazy stuff. But the problem with 0 is sometimes he can just be on fire, but other times he would lose to very basic, silly mistakes. And that's just tragic to watch in someone who I think has great potential. I think 0 would be a player who, if he gets to the late stage of the Star League, if he can make it past round of 8 for once. By the way, I have seen the new MSL results, but I'm not going to spoil them for anybody. I mean the ones played like a few days ago. Anyway, I know what happened to 0, and it looks like there's a 12 hatch going on for... I should commentate this game, by the way. There's a 12 hatch going on for Action, and it looks like 0 is going for a 9 pool. So it looks like 0 is trying to... I think it is probably a 12 pool. I mean, it's not a 9 pool. So it looks like 0 is... Oh, he's also getting his expansion. So he's focusing more on tech, sacrificing a bit of his economy to do that. So if he can maintain the early tech advantage, he should do well. Now, the danger here for 0 is sometimes he'll do this and then just lose to Zerglings. There was a game some time ago of 0, I forgot who he played against, where basically all he did was lose to a Zergling attack. That's just tragic. So we'll see what exactly is going on. It wasn't even like an all-in Zergling attack. It was just happens to be the Zerglings, the other Zerg built, the usual number of Zerglings, and I don't know what 0 is doing. Anyway, we'll see what exactly is going on here. It seems like this, oh, by the way, Aztec is a 3-player map, so it's interesting dynamic here. Although for Zerg vs Zerg, I guess it doesn't matter too much. It seems like 0 is sending out a few Zerglings to sort of launch a probing attack on Action, whereas Action's got his Zerglings morphing, and now these are sort of warded off 0's little probing attack. It's always very impressive to see the pro gamers arrange their Zerglings in a very nice arc. Always impresses me how they can do that and everything else at the same time. So look like 0 is significantly outnumbered here with Zerglings, and it looks like he got speed upgrades. So if he can get some more Zerglings, he can have a decisive advantage here, but he's not sending any more. I'm not exactly sure what he's trying to accomplish with these Zerglings up front. I guess he's just sort of threatening to do a run-by, but it would actually be better if he did a run-by. So usually what I've seen players like Com do is hide his Zerglings on part of the map, wait for Action to move out with his main force, and then sneak a little tactical assault force of Zergling into the back of Action's base. Now, 0 is not doing that, which I think is not necessarily the best move, and 0 is putting down Sunken. He must be having his Spire almost finished by now. 0 significantly outnumbered in Zerglings now. He's got 3 left. A few more morphing. Yeah, the Spire's already going down, and I imagine Action already has his Spire morphing too. Yep, you see the spire there, and it looks like Action is launching a Zergling attack. This is what I mean. Zero could very well lose the game here because, for instance, he doesn't protect his Sunken or something, some sort of silly mistake like that. I really hope that Zero really pays attention to the front here. He is significantly outnumbered in terms of Zerglings. But it looks like Action is not going to press the front. And Zero is sending out some of his Lings to sort of attack Action's forward force, but once Action brings in these reinforcements, Zero is forced to back off. By now the Spire should be finished and the Muta should be morphing for Zero. I can't see on the map, and it looks like, yeah, exactly, it looks like Action is going with his Zerglings. He's attacking the Sunken, he's attacking some drones. There's big battle. It looks like Zero is going to come out ahead though. That Sunken really makes a difference. So Action loses a significant number of Zerglings, and Zero definitely started out with smaller army, so that was a nice little victory for Zero. It remains to be seen whether he can follow this up with decisive attack or not with his Air Force. It looks like Action actually already has 4 Mulas out, and Zero is just getting his out too. I thought Zero, yeah, he does have 4 Mulas there. So it wasn't just a 2, that makes more sense. And both sides will surely be reinforcing, both players, I should say, will surely be reinforcing. It looks like Action is taking initiative, killing one of Zero's Overlord. He really should have finished that off. Okay, there you go. But Zero's going for Action's main, and Action's got absolutely nothing to protect it except a pair of Scourge. This is Zero's chance to do massive damage. What is he doing? Oh, he should have stayed in there and killed like 3 or 4 more drones, and I think he would have taken a decisive advantage if he had done that. I think he maybe killed 1 drone, or maybe even none, I don't know, but that attack definitely could have been better. So it looks like both sides are just massing up Mutas, and Scourge is probably going to come down to a micro battle. It looks like Zero's few Zerglings managed to penetrate Action's natural expansion and stop the gas mining. That's very significant. Action's got some of his Zerglings out, and he's going to ward off this attack, but not before his gas mine is significantly disrupted. It looks like Action is going to press the attack at Zero's natural, going for some of the drones, killing 2 drones. It looks like, and then he backs off. He doesn't have quite the same number of Scourge that Zero does. I think Zero has slightly more Scourge, but less Mutas than Action. By now, since Action put down his hatch early, the natural expansion earlier than Zero, he should have a slight advantage in terms of the air army. Especially now that he's killed off 2 more drones of Zero's. Whatever economic damage Zero may have done is definitely nullified by now. It looks like Korean commentators keep saying timing, timing. This is like one of the few words I recognize. The other word they like to say is champion. Anyway, it looks like there's some Scourge battle here. Zero's moving to Action's main base. There's a sky battle. Looks like massive number of Scourge from Action coming. Some landing, many landing on Zero's Mulas. Zero has suffered significant damage. He still has some of his Scourge, and it's hard to tell. It looks like there's some pretty good micro coming from Action, and I think Action has the bigger Mulas army, and Zero's forced to back off. Looks like Action came out ahead in that little engagement, but he's not pressing his attack, and now he's reinforced with a significant number more Scourge. Zero's sort of retreated back to his base for now. Action sending out a little Zergling to scout to see what the deal is, and now Action is moving with his Air Force. I think he wants to bring in the Scourge and finish this. Oh, and he kills a second Overlord of Zero's, whereas Zero has not. So Action taken all these little advantages, the 2 drones, the Overlords, the slight advantage in the air. So I think by now he has a pretty decisive advantage. The onus is on Zero to attack and do some sort of damage, otherwise Action will just, and it looks like there's another big battle going on. The Scourge for the microing all across the board. Some of Zero's landing on Actions, but it looks like Zero managed to pick off one of Action's Overlord too, evening that up a bit. Action sending some Zerglings down. I think he's going to try to attack Zero's natural. There's 1 Sunken there. If he runs by and goes to the main, he can do massive damage to Zero's economy. Looks like Action is sort of distracting Zero with his air attack. Zero bringing tons of Scourge to attack Action. So far, they're almost catching up. Some landing, and yes, Action is sending his Zergling to disrupt Zero's main base. Even if Action somehow manages to lose this battle, which he's actually winning the air battle, he would have won by, the Zerglings are destroying everything in Zero's base, and this is over. So it's sad to see Zero lose this Zerg vs. Zerg. Even if somehow Action manages to lose his Air Force, which he apparently did for some reason, it doesn't matter at this point. Zero has no economy. Action just needs to keep building Scourge like he's doing now, and Zero's just going to be worn out by attrition eventually. Doesn't matter at this point. Zero really should GG at this point. I mean, he's got to know. And this isn't like Winners League where you can tire out an opponent or anything. I guess in Pro League, the players feel like it's more important to sort of stay on for longer because they're playing for their team and not just themselves. It looks like, Zero managed to kill one of Action's Mutalisks. It looks like Zero has managed to force Action's drones away from his main base. This is kind of weird. Zero doesn't look like he has that many Mutalisks left. Action's got a Spore Colony at his natural, which is going to help significantly with his defense. I mean, I am not sure, but maybe Zero has enough Mutalisks that he thinks he could somehow kill all of Action's drone and force a draw or something. But I still don't really see that happening. Then again, Zero's a pro gamer, so he knows way more than I do. It seems like, yeah, Zero's GG's. I guess he was hoping for Action to screw up in some way with his Mutas or something. But that didn't happen, and Zero takes the game. Looks like KT takes the game and is now 1-1 in the series. Stay tuned for the next game.